The European Union ambassador and the OSCE ambassador have assembled at losing Basha's office, where they have called for a return to the assembly in order to push electoral reform. 2 men have died in the cities of Pogradec and Shkodër to provide food for their families as the country experiences frigid temperatures, while in Durrës, the victim was identified as homeless. On the 5th day of protest in the faculties of the University of Tirana, students have not given up, stating the protest will continue until the government fulfills their requests. Good evening. It's 6 o'clock on Monday, the 14th of January, 2019. Welcome to the English edition of Aura News. My name is Oliver, and I'm here to bring you the day's top stories from across the country, translated into English. The European Union has increased the pressure on Albanian politics to adopt electoral reform. The European Union ambassador Luigi Soreca and the head of the OSCE, Borchardt, met in the office of losing Basha to demand his return to parliament and a contribution to electoral law. Soreca stated, "The opposition belongs to parliament, and this is a constant demand that we have made to the opposition. We hope that the opposition will be back in parliament as they were in December. The objective is to finalize the work done, including in the document and joint proposals that have been recommended by both the OSCE and the ODIHR." Meanwhile, the OSCE ambassador spoke briefly with a clear message to Parliament. "Time is getting closer. There are still ways to move forward," he stated. The head of the European Union delegation for Albania, Luigi Soreca, said that the meeting with Basha is among many other meetings with political representatives and that electoral reform remains a priority for opening up negotiations. He expressed that he is talking about all parties within Albanian politics and that he and other officials have not and will not stop requesting respective parties to complete their duties in the sense of fulfilling each of their responsibilities. A 53-year-old man from the village of Trebin near Pogradec has died as a result of the low temperatures in the blocked mountainous areas of the Korça region. Ayet Zikolari set off on his journey with his donkey to Selce Siperme in order to buy food for his family after his region was blocked off for days due to the snow and frigid temperatures. Tragically, he did not return home alive. The incident happened in the village of Proptisht, where the residents of the area have, in fact, been supplied with food. It was the arrival of the animal alone, along with the food fastened in his saddlebag, that indicated a sign of his disappearance after family members and residents of the area set off in search of his body. The 53-year-old man was found frozen in the snow, according to the officials of the area. Members of his family are heartbroken, as the record low temperatures and blocked roads prevent them from even holding a proper funeral. Another victim of the cold weather was also found in the coastal city of Durrës. A homeless man, identified as Victor Vima, was found dead in the 4th district of Durrës. It is suspected that he died during the night as a result of the cold temperatures and excessive alcohol consumption. Meanwhile, in Shkodër, a 57-year-old man was found dead on his first day of duty as the guard for the offices of a vocational training center. The victim, Agron Kokovi, is believed to have succumbed to the cold temperatures during his first night shift on the job. Students continued the boycott of instruction today by barricading themselves inside the university faculty. They demand the fulfillment of all their requirements, which have been expressed through their banners. Students say that their slogans and banners convey a clear message, not only to the government, but also to citizens and classmates who have not yet joined their protest. Today marks the 5th consecutive day inside the Faculty of Law where students have isolated themselves. The primary entry of the faculty has been obstructed by students with chairs and desks to prevent anyone from entry, and unlike other faculties where many students are able to attend their lessons, students say it has been impossible for them to enter the Faculty of Law, where many have expressed their desire to continue learning. At the Faculty of Economics, the doors are now open. As of yesterday afternoon, protesters took the decision to allow entry in the main ingress of the university for those students who wish to attend class, but they have, however, not given up their tactic of isolation, instead barricading themselves elsewhere within the faculty. At the Faculty of Architecture, students spent the night locked inside the building, and it is reported that they have put up blankets in the main hall walls where they continue the boycott. Although it is the 5th day of their isolation, there has been no reported clashes between students and state or private police forces, but many students say that they have been threatened with anonymous phone calls not to participate in the protest. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Edi Rama, in a reaction to today's protest, stressed that 2 representatives from the Ministry of Finance and Education will be present in the administrative offices of the university. Minister of Finance Arben Ahmetai has recently explained that the funding scheme for reducing student study fees by half. At a press release, he said that 6,235 students with high academic standings and over 70,000 other students with an average grade of 5 to 9 will benefit from these measures. Ahmetai stated, regarding the reduction of the bachelor program fee, students with an average 9 or 10 will have a 100% exclusion from tuition fees. This reduction will benefit at least 6,235 students, while the financial effect on the state budget is estimated at 201 million lek. Students with an average grade of 5 to 9 will benefit from a 50% reduction in tuition fees. The fee for approximately 70,000 students will be lowered to 9,700 lek per year, while the financial effect is equivalent to 1 billion lek on the state budget, stated Ahmetai. Regarding the master's program, Finance Minister Ahmetai said that students in these programs will also benefit from the tariff reduction. According to him, those with an average 9 or 10 will benefit from a 50% reduction in study fees. Meanwhile, students who have paid the full fee of their tuition will receive a 50% refund. As for the scholarships, Ahmetai stated that the issue should not be asked of the municipal councils, as it is no longer their job. Minister of Finance then asked the university boards to work to provide additional information for students. The boards of universities should work 24 hours around the clock to provide data for students eligible for discounts and scholarships. Ahmetai went on to say, bring out the details so that each student can benefit. On Monday, one of the former commanders in the Kosovo Liberation Army, Rustem Mustafa, appeared before the prosecution on special crimes located in The Hague, Netherlands. This event marks the official beginning of the work to be carried out by this institution. Mustafa, who is renowned for his involvement in the war, along with Commander Remy, were the heads of the operative zone of Lapi, a region of northern Pristina during the Kosovo War. Prior to appearing before the prosecution, Mustafa said he was there to answer all questions by the prosecution. There is no detail on other individuals to be questioned at the special prosecution, but Kosovo authorities have called upon those invited to respond in order to show what they consider to be the pureness of the war of Kosovo Liberation Army. Prime Minister Ramush Haradinaj stated on Friday that the government was not informed by the special court about those witnesses who were summoned, but instead was reminded that it is Kosovo's legal obligation to legally and financially support those involved and their families. The law on the special court was approved by the Kosovo Assembly in 2015, and the institution was opened following the adoption of the Rules and Procedures of Evidence in July of 2017. Its creation came after the publication of a report by the European Council in 2011, which states that there is evidence to investigate the alleged crimes of former members of the Kosovo Liberation Army against Serbs before and during the war. Territorial independence was the main focus of discussions by Kosovo's negotiating team with the high official of the European Union, Federica Mogherini. This afternoon, the head of the Assembly, Kadri Veseli, and the co-chair of the negotiating team with Serbia, Shpendi Ahmeti, stressed that Kosovo must remain independent, sovereign, and territorially intact. According to them, the dialogue with their northern neighbor can be only held under the premise of a mutual recognition by both states, and a final platform for dialogue will be made public on Wednesday. The two senior officials once again invited the opposition parties, LDK and Vetëvendosje, which have so far boycotted all the meetings on the topic of dialogue between the two states. Meanwhile, the opposition has accused Kosovo's team of representatives of withholding the content of meetings held by head of state Hashim Thaçi and his Serbian counterpart. The opposition claims Kosovo's representatives have assumed the role of peacekeepers in the negotiation process. President Hashim Thaçi responded to the opposition by calling their boycott of dialogue an escape of political responsibility, which only discourages unity on the important issue of state interests. Debate over Kosovo and their respective dialogue with Serbia are expected to be at the center of attention during this Thursday's visit by Russian President Vladimir Putin in Pristina. And that's the news from across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join me again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. And once again, on behalf of Aura News, thank you and have a good night.